Satoshi, the creator of Bitcoin, effectively looked at the economic properties of gold, and then he combined them with the economic efficiencies enabled by the internet. And that's Bitcoin, basically. It's a synthesis of the properties of gold with the properties of the internet. And in terms of Bitcoin as a money, again, if you just evaluate it through those 5 services, it's divisible, right? How divisible? Well, it's as divisible as information, effectively. It's just pure digital information. So it's infinitely divisible. Because Bitcoin is stored everywhere, every computer has a record of its history, it's durable. You can't, to destroy Bitcoin, you'd have to destroy everyone's record of Bitcoin everywhere and every computer on Earth at the same time. So the analogy I like to use here is like, it's something like the Bible. You can destroy an individual Bible. You could burn a whole pile of Bibles. But how could you ever delete the Bible from human consciousness globally? Like, again, it's everywhere and nowhere. Right. It's just an idea. It's just code, frankly. It's just information. So the idea of the concept of the Bible, no matter how many Bibles you burn or destroy, is not going anywhere. Right?
Another one.
Yeah, I mean, it's here, right? It's here for good, pretty much. Bitcoin's similar, just information stored everywhere. So to destroy it, you'd have to go and destroy an idea, effectively. An idea that this is one of the things Bitcoin does. Like, it just copies itself everywhere. So it's like, even if you destroyed every version of Bitcoin on Earth, but so long as one laptop with the full node survived, the whole thing would survive. So it's very durable, very hard to kill. Bitcoin's pure information, as we said earlier. So it's very portable. You can move it at the speed of light. Can't get much faster than that. Bitcoin is very recognizable in the sense that you can audit. If you send me Bitcoin, again, I just run the software, the open source software that checks the Bitcoin you sent me is authentic. And in it, another extension of that is you can also audit the supply of Bitcoin. So not only can I verify that the Bitcoin you've sent me is authentic or recognizable, but I can also audit the entire blockchain, the whole history of every transaction that's ever occurred. So it's very counterfeit resistant or recognizable. And then finally, this is something that's really unique. Bitcoin is infinitely scarce or perfectly scarce. It has a fixed supply of 21 million. And again, that's not possible with a physical asset. You can't have a fixed supply of physical asset because you can't stop people from creating more of anything. But in digital space, by rooting the Bitcoin production process in energy, which is through the Bitcoin mining process, we can get into more later, it creates a proof of work necessary to create it. And it gives you a very high assurance that no more than 21 million can ever be created. So again, if I want a money that no one else, that's hard to create, to store my value in, Bitcoin effectively perfects that, because now there's a money that no one can create more of. Even if you go into mining, you can only create enough Bitcoin as the algorithm allows, which again, it caps out at 21 million. So it's like, I've argued in some of my writing, although Bitcoin is an invention, it represents the discovery of absolute scarcity. Everything before Bitcoin was relatively scarce. Gold was the most relatively scarce asset we ever had. That, in addition to the other properties it satisfied, is why it became money. But with Bitcoin, we have discovered absolute scarcity. And it gets a little complex, but I argue that it's a one-time event. You can't do it again. So I'll drop it there. That Bitcoin is essentially the most advanced or perfect form of money we've ever created. And in that way, I view it as disruptive to gold. And gold is still the primary money in the world today. Even though you and I, citizens, don't use it, countries fight over it. Countries kill each other over it. Countries hoard it. Countries produce it. You know, it's still the most important asset in the world. And it's not my opinion. It's like, okay, China is the biggest producer of gold and the biggest buyer of gold. They're also printing money like crazy. So basically countries are just printing money, but they're also buying gold at the same time because they know they're making their money worthless and that gold's the only thing that matters. So it's like, you don't need to look at what they say about gold. Just look at what they do. They buy and hoard gold. They print and externalize paper money. So that was a very long answer. I'll send it back to you.